Hello, I'm going to talk to you about two-stage exams. So imagine that you are about to take an exam or a test or a quiz, something like that. And now let's think about, ideally, what kind of feedback would you get about the answers you give on that thing? This isn't about the grading, so separate from the grading, what should the feedback be like? Well, three aspects that I think are really important would be, we'd like the feedback to be immediate. The faster you can get feedback on your answers, the more likely you are to learn from it. That's just sort of how humans work. We need that fast feedback loop. Secondly, it's great if the feedback is actionable. I want to be able to do something with the feedback. I want to be able to do something to improve my situation because of what I learn. And if the process of getting feedback can help the learning outcome, then even better. So those are some of the ideas behind what's called a two-stage exam. And here's the structure. First, each individual takes the exam as usual. So the same materials, the same time limit that you would usually expect for whatever this exam is like. That part is totally normal. But then stage two is different. Stage two, groups of 3 to 4 learners work together on the exact same exam, exact same questions, no difference. And they decide as a group how to answer. So they just answer on one extra copy of the exam. Now, both of these get graded. Both your individual work and the group work get graded. And your overall score for that exam is then a combination of the two. And often it's weighted as 80% your individual score plus 20% the group score. With the caveat that if the group does worse than you did, your overall score can't be lowered. So if you do really well on your individual portion, you can help your classmates and your peers understand the material better without having to worry at all that how the group does will lower your overall score. And then often there's a discussion among the whole class of the exam itself. So let's talk about what this does. Why do we do it this way? What's the point? Well, if you can imagine having just taken the exam and then you sit down with classmates, with other learners, to try and work through that same exam, you are going to immediately focus on the ones where you disagreed. You are going to quickly get feedback from your classmates about where you went wrong. So you get feedback really quickly from your peers. Second, we know that explaining your own thinking is crucial to learning. And so in the process of talking through your answers with your classmates, you will learn more of the material. It's kind of like the old adage about like the best way to learn something is to teach something. That's part of what's going on in here. And the feedback that you get and the action you take as a group improves your overall score. Most learners see an increase to their overall score because of the group contribution. And there's some other cool benefits besides the three that address our first goals. And that is, most of us will come out of an exam or a quiz or a test with some questions like, man, I didn't really understand number 4, or I can't tell if I got number 8 right. Those questions will get answered right there, right on the spot in the group work. And that's really beneficial. It lets you sort of off the hook. It gives you some closure. And it also means you tend to walk away after the group stage with a pretty good sense of how you did. And so you don't, as often, have the situation where you might think you did really well. Only a week later, when you get your score back, you discover that it didn't go very well. You usually come out of the second stage with a pretty good understanding of how you did. So overall, this technique tends to make exams a little bit less stressful for learners. It tends to give fast feedback that is actionable and improves learning. And it has lots of really good evidence behind it. There's also all sorts of cool references I could share with you if you wanted to check them out. So that's how two-stage exams are going to work in this class. And let me know if you have any questions.